Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Women's Cave. I mean, it's so good to say the Women's Cave because, as you guys know, we have been doing the Women's Virtual Success Summit all weekend, co-hosting that. So it's good to be back into the Women's Cave.
Oh my goodness, yes. I even love the fact that the walls now are purple instead of green.
Yeah, it's true. We might go back to the green side. Who knows? You know what? We're cray like that.
But it's very enjoyable. Anyway, so the whole weekend we talked to experts about a lot of stuff. We actually got to talk to experts who were like on Oprah and the doctor.
It was
Dr.
so
Oz and Phil. It
crazy.
was weird.
Y'all know we silly, so we were like, "Excuse me, seriously, you want us to talk to them? You want us to co-host? This is everything."
Yeah, it was weird talking to people and being serious, especially for Winona here.
Yes. Winona was trying to be super serious. She like a doll all weekend. She was all like posh, like, well, as in conjunction to what you were saying. But anyway, we digress. I'm Jade.
And I'm Winona. Just in case you were wondering who the Winona chick is, that would be me.
That would be her all day. I call her Nona, but you cannot.
Right. You have to go, oh, look at that.
No,
falling down.
Knocking down the set.
Yep.
Anyway, as we are the founders and co-authors. Some of the authors on the And I Thought series. And I thought divorce was bad, and I thought being grown up was easy, and I thought I could juggle it all.
This is the business book, the one that got us in the Business Women's Virtual Success.
But that's only for pre-orders. So
on Kindle.
On Kindle. So please pre-order it up on Kindle. It'll be everything. Well, maybe it won't be everything, but it'll be
pretty darn close.
It'll be like 99.9% of everything, which is real close. But you guys aren't here to hear us. You're here to talk up.
Yes, you are. For the first time all weekend, I can be like, in 96 hours, you are here to hear us.
Well, it is kind of true, but we have a really fun guest today. And so I'm excited to have her here, and that would be Miss Tara Wood Turner. Wow, I was about to mess that up.
She is the best-selling author and soon-to-be future co-author with us on And I Thought He Was the One.
And I Thought, ladies, just remember that.
Okay, Tara, would you like to introduce yourself? Because you do it lovely.
Hi. Hello. Again, my name is Tara Woods Turner, and I'm the author of Beyond Good Manners, How to Raise a Sophisticated Child. And, you know, that's sort of my Beyond series. I've got 2 more books coming out in that series. And as you mentioned, I am a very excited and proud future co-author with you ladies.
We're so excited.
We're excited to have you.
Yes.
And I just want to take this moment to 1 second and be like, viewers, we see you. And thank you for always following us. I mean, as you know, Google Hangouts will be shutting down on September the 12th. And please follow us on Zoom. It will be the best thing ever.
And you get to talk.
Yay!
Okay. Tara, you were saying?
That's right. Yeah, crazy about Hangouts, but yeah, we'll follow you ladies anywhere. So
Aww.
You guys out there, don't forget to sort of re-embrace the new platform, and let's just kind of keep the cave going. But yeah, I'm excited. And you know, as you know, I write nonfiction. I write currently I'm writing parenting guides. And so even though I have just a ton of fiction that I always thought I'd get started on in 2017 when things slow down, this has been a chance for me to kind of jump into it a little early. And thank you ladies for that sort of that sideways entry into my fiction. And I'm so excited. It's so much fun.
Don't we always? We're always sideways. We do everything sideways. I think like literally we were born sideways. I don't know. It's just how we always get, and we invite people and we just do weird things. We jump a lot.
Yeah. But it's your hallmark. It's working out for you nicely. So I don't know. I'm so excited. And I told my husband, I said, I'm going to be contributing to one of the I Thought books. And he was like, what? He was like, are you nervous? Those books are, because I'm always raving about them. And I said, no, I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I said, I don't, you know, after I read And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy, that was an experience. I love that book so much. I love the first one. I love divorce, but this one is so much more well-rounded. So if I was going to be nervous, it would be after reading that. But I'm not. I'm excited.
Don't be nervous.
I'm a little old us.
Yeah, like she about to write with some bestsellers. Actually, we should be nervous. You're the bestseller.
I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I'm like, I gotta pull my game up. She's got the best-selling title. I'm rewriting my stuff for the third time. Like, maybe I shouldn't use that word.
But no, the book is beautiful, and I think part of the reason is it is sort of a patchwork quilt. You know, every contributor has her own voice and her own story, and it makes for an interesting read because you get used to one story and you're sort of, you know, when you read a story, you're sort of in that world, and then you finish that, and then here's a poem or an essay, and it's just completely different. But for some reason, you seem to pick contributors who, you know, a different voice, but sort of the same vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's definitely, I want to kind of add to that, that whole vibe. I'm just excited. I'm excited to be writing fiction. So thank you for that.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm gonna say, like, actually, for our next book, The End I Thought I Could Juggle It All, there is some fiction, and the fact that it's like got essays and poems in it, but it's like stories. Like, these are just like
creative. Yeah.
We're just gonna write about them. Then, like, juggling being a mom, being a grandmom, you know, being a single mom, being a single lady, wanting to date and having a multi-million-dollar business, you know, that sort of things. They just write their stories. And so we're kind of like excited about hearing like your story, no matter how you want to tell it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Well, I think as women, we always think that we don't have much to say or stuff like that. But really, a lot of the times, I like to call it the journey or the path that we walk. We walk it with so many other people, and so many other people depend on us to walk our path correctly so they can have a good path. And we don't see our stories, but to them, we're inspirations. And when we write them down, as you said, all the ladies, most of them are like, "Oh, I don't have a good story." And we're like, "Are you serious? This is
you do think that, though. You do tend, especially after you read something that someone else has written so well, you know. And the memoir style of the End I Thought books, it's so well stated. It's so creative. It just feels like just a good novel, or rather a good anthology. So, you know, you don't want to drop the ball in that sense. And you do sort of think, well, what could I possibly have to say, or how can I contribute in a way that's organic and not only speaks to my truth, but you sort of have to make the assumption that someone else will find it useful or interesting, you know. But that's one of the things that sticks out about the End I Thought books, in my opinion, is when you're reading it, you're like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one who did that, or I thought I was the only one who felt that way. And you realize that you're just sort of part of an entire collective body of thought as a woman. And I hate to overuse the word, but it's very empowering.
Oh, that is empowering. And I just hope that everyone gets where you got from it, because literally I think that was our goal. You know, sometimes when you walk by yourself and you're thinking, oh, I'm the only one, you're starting to feel a little down in your spirit because you really think, you know, there's nobody else. And that was our whole goal, was to be like, hey, somebody else has done it. Or maybe if not, you can just laugh about it. Or when you see a situation that looks like something in the book, you know how to answer it.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of the reason that we like to start at like 24. Or if we could find someone in their 20s, if you're out there and you want to write and you're in your 20s, and
come on down.
I would, like 21, 22, 23, 24, something like that, then come on down, please. Because we keep getting people who are 25, 26. So we have like the mid 20s, and then you get the 30s and the 40s, 50s, and then 60s. So we always try to cover 4 decades of life, so that if you're 20, you have someone is like, oh yeah, I've seen that, I've done that, or I will, I'm kind of close to doing that now. And then when you're in your 30s going, oh, I did that, oh good God. And then going, oh, okay. In my 40s, I have to look forward to this. So no matter where you are in your life, you can look at some woman in that book and be like, yeah, that was my truth at one time.
I love it.
Or it will be my truth.
Exactly. Okay, that's I love it.
Of course, now, if you can stop someone from doing something silly, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it takes a lot of time to correct a mistake. I'm sorry, Tara, you are the guest, so you should be chatting more.
You should be talking about your books.
But that's interesting. I'm trying to imagine if I had that book when I was 20, how would I have responded to it? To be honest, I can't say I would have learned much as far as like a lesson, because at 20 I was such a geek. I would have, even the mistakes that women have said, I made these mistakes in my life, or I just would have, it's kind of hard not to focus on the glamorous stuff, the fun stuff. I would have been like, okay, yeah, but I can't wait to do that.
Okay, so what did you think was fun?
Fun? No, oh my gosh, the amazing support structures that so many women in the book had with one another. Just even with the bumps in the road in life, just having that network of sisters and girlfriends and the lives that they lead together, separately and together. The relationships aren't always successful, but there's still a standard that these women have and that they live up to, and they're living their truth every day in a way that's honest, but very forward thinking. They're ambitious, they're strong, very classy, and that's kind of hard to miss. That's a theme that runs throughout both books, I think. I mean, even as they're dealing with problems that almost all women face or are going to face, they do so with a reflection and a sense of self-awareness and basically integrity and class that it's sort of a brand, it's a theme, and it's very laudable. It's very admirable, and that's what I would have focused on had I read this in my 20s. I think some of the lessons would have gone over my head, but just these ladies are glamorous.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, I think that yes, a lot of lessons, especially in our 20s, go over our heads. But I don't know. I've had, as you guys always know, I'm always talking about my much older friends, and actually, one of them actually joined me on this book. Actually, Kay, she was my really good older friend. She's been a bartender for 20 years. And so when I met her, she was a bartender for 10 years. And I was this little old girl, because I'm not revealing my age. But when I met her, and she was telling me all this stuff about her life and what was happening and how she made, she turned left instead of turning right, and she wished she had turned right. And I'm like, what is this? I mean, I'm listening to her like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. I don't understand what you're talking about. But yeah, did I face those same issues? Absolutely. Did I know to turn right instead of left? Absolutely. Because somebody told me, when you come to this crossroad, you don't want to turn left, because I turned left and it turned out horribly. Turn right. And it was everything when I met, and I was like, oh, you're the man that you're the man, like, you're the type that she was talking about. No, not for you. I'm leaving.
Right.
And then on top of it, just life decisions. And when I finally did run into Kay, which was a while after I wish I had met her beforehand. Yeah, because I had gone through some stuff. But anyway, when I did finally run into Kay, I learned a lot. I'm still learning a lot from Kay, like how to be grown up, how to handle bills, life, house, mortgage. She doesn't have kids, but she's helping raise kids, how to help raise children. I mean, patience, just wow. Confrontations, how to deal with them. Oh my word. There's so much I learned from Kay. Like every week I see her, I'm like, dang, that's a whole new lesson. And that's really what we want to do. I want to take Kay's wisdom. I want to take Scarlett's wisdom. I want to take Joe's wisdom, although it's a little bit. But
no,
I'm
Joe
so
has some
joking.
good words.
Joe has great words. She's our standard 20-year-old. So we're always like, yeah,
like wisdom.
Okay, young one.
Yes. But she is wise for her years.
Yes.
She is. But I think when it comes to love, she's not nearly as jaded. So that's why we're always like, yeah, right.
Yeah, wait for it.
I'm sorry?
Wait for it.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like so all the rest of them, I'm always looking at them like, wow. Renee is Renee in here?
Renee
is
has
in
like
there.
a little something to say in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like hey, she has a bunch to say, and
Alexa's in here.
Alexa has a bunch to say. I mean, she's raised 5 boys on her own, and 3 of them aren't even hers. Like she adopted
Wow.
children after she died from leukemia, which was like
Wow.
what? And so she was a single mother of 5.
Oh my God. Oh, that's a story.
Exactly.
And she talks about the struggles and like just, I mean, herself, she got pregnant when she was 18, like just about to graduate from high school. And so having that and then your sister dying on you and leaving you 3 children, I mean, she was like, I had no choice. I had to take them in. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right. Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm not giving them the foster care. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So I took them in, and she was like, sometimes I literally work like 80 hours a week. I felt like a lawyer.
That's amazing.
But she wants to come. She wanted to come into herself, and that's one of the reasons that she writes with us now. It's like just to like have time for her.
Yeah, like the last boy has graduated and he's going to college. And so she was like, I finally, like 12. She's like, I can do something for me. She's like, finally, I can do something for me.
Right. Because she has to replenish herself. She poured herself into 5 little human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's amazing. And what, I mean, as women, do we not do that in every way possible, every day of our lives?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna be a little narcissistic.
I want to talk about her book. Like, I want to talk about the ideas for your next 2
yes,
books. Like,
you have ideas for your next 2 books.
Want to talk about it?
Let's get to that. So, what is in the future for you, Miss Woods Turner?
Well, it's 2 more books in sort of the Beyond series. I did want to write. I guess it's kind of like a trilogy about that. And the first one is going beyond the basics of just good manners and raising children who are actually sophisticated and cultivated. So that was a lot of fun. That's gone very well, thankfully. The next book is Beyond Good Grades. How we prepare our children, our high schoolers specifically, to be successful in college. And I say beyond good grades because that is so not the focus of the book. What kind of grades they get. There are books that are can show them how to do that far better than I could. And I'm really not interested in that as much as I am children getting to college and actually being prepared for independent life. So many kids, their parents, work, they bust their butt to get their kids into good schools. And then the kids, some of them are just stuck like deer in headlights. They don't know how to live on their own. They don't know how to be independent. They don't know good life success skills. They're not good at being alone, so to speak. So sometimes they seek stimuli or excitement or just being around other people for the wrong reasons. Some of them they don't even know the basics of how to take care of themselves emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, because as parents, sometimes we do too much for our children. When the point is to prepare them to go out into the outside world. And for most kids, this means going away to college for the first time. So I just wanted to focus on just basic interpersonal skills that just help them succeed and become more well-rounded while they're in college so they can get the most of it. So, because it's hard to succeed when you're homesick, when you don't know how to handle other cultures, people who've lived lifestyles different from your own, when you can't adapt, when you don't have the tools to grow and change. And then you miss out on, I would say, half of what college is supposed to be about, which is a lot more than just getting grades, but turning into a good adult, a functioning adult.
A good socially functioning adult that can, give to society with all of them now, not just the brain, but
Yes.
be mature enough to handle situations, confrontations, and do it well.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And it kind of spills over into other aspects of a young person's life. I think a person who is equipped to handle change, and going away to college is a huge change. I think they're less likely to find unhealthy or unproductive ways, to channel their feelings or emotions. So instead of having someone who, they're away from home for the first time, and so they spend the first, year of college, maybe, drinking too much, or, acting out in other ways, because they haven't gained their balance yet. They don't really have a sense of balance, because they've been thrown out there with no preparation. So just we learn so much in those 4 years, and it's supposed to propel us onto the next level. Um, but if we think it starts in college, I think as parents, I think we're making a big mistake. A lot of the preparation really does begin before they set foot in their dorm for the first time. And as parents, we can do a lot to influence how well our kids do in college, beyond just making good grades.
Absolutely. I'm 110% behind that, because if no one tells you about the world or what it really does, how do you expect me to know what to do?
Exactly.
That's impossible.
It's impossible. And opening those lines of communication with your child, that's so important. That's so important. Because without that accessibility or that comfort level, how are you going to talk to your children about difficult things? You don't, as much as you want to keep them young and quote innocent, it's that's really about your comfort, and it's supposed to be about preparing your child. So you have to sort of overcome that and find ways to talk to them about tricky subjects, because you don't want them to learn once they're in college.
Right.
Because then you can't control the conversation, and you don't know where they're getting their information. It's better if we sort of take that by the horns. And it's not about not giving your children the space to make mistakes in, because it's going to happen. It's more about giving them a chance to be as informed as they can be about things that are going to affect their lives. um, and I think, learning how to talk to them about this is so important. Sometimes, I should say, and I say speak with them as opposed to just talking to them, because that doesn't do any good. As kids and as future parents, we know that when our parents just talk to us, it doesn't sink in. But when they speak with us, that's a real conversation, and that's what needs to happen.
I love this. I love this interchange. And I'm going to segue back because, yes, I'm the narcissistic one. So therefore, I'm segueing back. Because that's actually what we wanted to do with our books. Like with this book, and I thought being grown up was easy. I didn't want to put out a manual per se, a nonfiction manual of how to do this. Not for parents, but I wanted it to be for the youth who are going into college, and the ones who are coming out of college, and they're looking at life going, oh wow, 4 years passed and this is a different world now. It's like I got to be grown up now, and I just came from a classroom, so I'm confused because I've been in the classroom since I was 5. Now I'm like 24, 23, 22, and I'm out of this classroom, and what on earth am I supposed to do?
Yes.
Because there's no more professor, there's no more like schedule to tell you have to show up at work, and now you have to make decisions about life. And I mean, I know you started practicing in college, and you can't keep calling your parents for money because now you're grown, right? These sort of things. I wanted them to have a book to say, hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you can read this essay. You can read this poem. You can analyze said essay and analyze said poem or story, and then you can figure out how that applies to your life.
Yes, you're making the someone else's experience your own, because we have the basics in common, even if the details differ from person to person. And that's one thing I liked about the book. I may not have been in that experience, but I've certainly had that experience in my own way because, again, the basics are the same, the components are the same. And I think you bring up an important point about why the Beyond books, my Beyond books, and your I Thought books, one thing they do have in common is that level of engagement. Like you said, not so much, a stern guide or manual, but just a conversation, a two-way conversation, almost like an open letter to your readers. Like, let me share this with you. And I know you will have had a similar experience, or I think there's something to be gained from me sharing this with you. And again, sharing and engagement implies that there are two parts of the conversation. And I really think that's the only way, not only to get readers, but, our children, that's the only way to get them to really accept what it is that we're sharing or saying.
Exactly.
They feel like they're a part of it too.
It has to be interactive. If it's a preaching or a speech, or even we know when we go to college and we have the professor and he's just talking at us, we spend a lot of time or reading it from the book. We spend a lot of time taking notes and nodding our heads, wishing we were, anywhere else but there. And we go home and memorize it because there's a test or study how it applies to actual life. But we're never going to really apply that. Now, if someone had been interactive and you had a few laughs and you actually got to add parts, and like in the Beyond series, then you're going to remember it and you're going to want to take it and you're going to want to practice it in your life. These are the things that I think we both have in common. So this is why I'm happy for us to intersect in our books. And, maybe we can intersect in yours as well. I doubt it because you're, professional and all.
She is.
Oh my God.
And I mean, come on. Our book has the recipe to throw the $20 party. Come on now.
$20 party.
Oh, there's a book that I've outlined and I've conceptualized the chapters, but it's 4 books away, so I'm not quite ready to jump into it yet. But it very much ties into the books that you ladies are writing. So I'll just leave it at that. I may need your help in the future.
And no problem. The And I Thought ladies are there for you.
Most definitely.
We're there for you.
Well, okay,
and as
guys,
we're there
I've had for about 2 months now. I think a little bit before my first show I did with you ladies back in mid-July. I've kind of known that it would be a good fit. I'll leave it at that. But I'm excited.
We're happy that you're excited. We're happy to have you with us. And we have gone a good 10 minutes over time, but we always do.
We love Tara.
We love Tara.
I'm chatty. You guys know I'm talkative. You have no one to blame but yourselves. I'm Southern.
For joining us, and thank you viewers for joining us, and please continue to join us on Zoom, which will be very cool because you guys, they have like a chat room and you can like add yourself in, and then if you have a comment you can like raise your hand and you can like talk to us, more interactive than we are now, which I'm very excited about. Winona,
I guess we should probably wrap up, so let's do some contact information for Tara.
Okay, well, as always, I can be reached by email. That's probably the fastest way, and it's tarawoodsturner@gmail.com, and that's tarawoodsturner@gmail. Also on Twitter and Instagram, I'm at @OTaraTara, and that's OHTARATARA. Twitter, Instagram. And of course, my blog is on Goodreads, and my author page is on Amazon. So you can look for it under my name or under the title of my book. So
that is amazing. Because her blog is just that. Awesome.
It is. I'm always on the page like, oh, I like that. I like what you said.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. That is so awesome. Now
I'm not sure if we did like, though. I'm going to have to go back and do that. But definitely read it. We definitely read it. So you guys, this has been and oh my goodness, after the Virtual Women's Success Summit, I'm not quite sure how to wrap up my own show, for crying out loud.
This has been a wonderful session with Miss Tara Woods Turner. Yes, we're going to be all professional about it. And I thought, ladies, I am Jade.
And I am Winona.
And we are the authors of the And I Thought series. And I Thought Divorce Was Bad. And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy. And I Thought I Could Juggle It All, which is out for pre-order on Amazon.com. And I Thought I Could Juggle It All. But the other two books you can pick up on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Or if you want a personalized copy to you, you can always pick it up on andwethought.com, which is also our website.
Oh, so she only left me the email. So if you would like to contact us to call to say something nice, remember, we love that rule. If that your mother said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Thank you.
We love it.
You can be at ladies@andwethought.com. You guys, this has been awesome fun talking to Miss Turner. Please contact her. And also, we'd like to remind you that wisdom is all around you if
you are open to accepting it and finding it.
We'll see you guys later. Peace and love from Winona and Jade. Bye-bye.